Outstanding State of the Union address last night by President Donald Trump. I'm going to give you my winners and losers of the evening. Well, the two biggest winners last night were President Donald Trump and the United States of America. President Trump laid out a clear case as to why he's the right man for the job. It was a wonderful speech. It was a beautiful tale of America, told to Americans. Our successes, our failures, our gains, our losses, who we mourn with, who we cheer. It was a wonderful, emotionally connected speech to the American people, and President Trump defined himself as the right leader for the times. He won big, but America won bigger. We finally have a president who loves this nation, who cares about this nation, and who is implementing policies, who is governing in a way that will truly make America great again. The man is keeping his campaign promises. Now, other winners were our veterans. President Trump honored a young Coast Guard, a woman who's with the United States Coast Guard who rescued people during the hurricane. Our first responders, he honored a young police family. He honored an ICE agent who was targeted by MS-13 but pushed on, made his cases, and arrested those violent gang members. Other winners were our working people. He honored a young welder. He honored small business with deregulation. America won. Our veterans won. Our first responders won. Hard-working, patriotic Americans won. Very, very big last night. American families won big. The rule of law won big. President Trump spoke much about the rule of law. National security was a big winner last night, and all of us who care about national security. But the two biggest winners, again, were President Trump himself and all of us, the United States, because we're finally on the right track. The biggest losers last night, which won't surprise you, were the Democrats, with special dishonorable mention for the Congressional Black Caucus. Chuck Schumer sitting there with his glasses on his face and his mean look, and Nancy Pelosi with this jaw that, going this, but the cop in me was like, well, did she use coke or meth? Because that looked like druggy tweaker jaw. Cory Booker from New Jersey was sitting there looking like the cops were coming in, like he had a warrant. I don't know if you saw Booker. He looked like somebody was after him, like some loan shark was coming to collect his vig. The guy was coming in the front door. Booker was going to shoot out the back. And let's talk about running away. Representative Luis Gutierrez, who never met a criminal, violent, illegal he didn't love, had smoke on his shoes running out of the room when their chants of USA started. Think about this. A sitting elected representative to the United States Congress ran out of the room when USA was chanted. Is there anything more disgraceful? Now, the Congressional Black Caucus embarrassed themselves most of all. They were big losers, sitting like this, sitting like this. Chuck Schumer was sitting like this, and Marco Rubio was pouting like this. Rubio embarrassed us all here in Florida with his behavior last night. But the Congressional Black Caucus deserves special, dishonorable mention as a biggest loser, because they were only miserable for one reason. Their lie is over. The roost is up. President Trump's message last night to all Americans was that success and prosperity are back, and it's yours for the taking if you work hard enough and you really want it. But when he touched on black unemployment being the lowest it's ever been, and the Congressional Black Caucus sat, it told me that they knew the joke was up. Their lie will no longer work. They're saying to black Americans, you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not competent enough. Hell, you can't even get ID to vote. You need us. So come to Big Brother Democrat, and we'll coddle you and rub your head, and we'll give you your entitlement, and we'll give you your food stamps. And you don't have to do anything but be dependent on us. Keep voting for us. President Trump comes along and he says, everything those morons just told you is a lie. There's money here. There's prosperity here. There's success here. The brass ring is here. There's education here. There's a better life for your family here. All up to you. You just need to choose what path you want to take, put a little work in, and go down that path. You don't need those liars any longer. You don't need those loser Democrats any longer. You don't want to be on entitlements. We know that. We know that. Here are your paths to success. The markets are seeing capital infusions again. The jobs are opening up. Unemployment rates in your community are the lowest they've ever been. It's yours for the taking. Just go for it. And black Americans cheered that. And the Congressional Black Caucus is terrified because it's how they stay employed, keeping the entitlement lie going. All Democrats were big losers last night. Democrats remained seated when veterans were honored. They remained seated when police officers were honored. They remained seated when a young black guy who's a hardworking welder was recognized because he has more money in his paycheck. They remained seated when USA was chanted. They remained seated when patriotism was talked about. They remained seated when strong borders were talked about. They remained seated when the families of two young girls, families of color, a Hispanic family and a black family, were recognized, and America mourned with them because their two young daughters, one 16 and one 15, were murdered by the criminal illegal gang MS-13. The Congressional Black Caucus and Democrats couldn't even stand up for those families. I don't know anything that would define you as a bigger loser than that. It was reprehensible. It was absolutely disgraceful. It was sad. It was sad to watch people elected, people who took an oath to protect, preserve, and defend the Constitution of the United States, took an oath to protect this country from enemies, foreign and domestic. It was sad. It was tragic to watch them sit there and pout and protest while the president talked about a strong America, a prosperous America, a safe America for every American, for white Americans, for black Americans, for Asian Americans, for Hispanic Americans, for every American, every religion, every race, every sexual orientation, every gender. The president did not engage, not one word, not one period, not one comma, in identity politics. He didn't engage in virtue signaling. In fact, I didn't find his State of the Union political. It wasn't it was a very conservative speech, but it wasn't an overly politicized speech. Talking about a strong, prosperous America is not politicizing a speech. It's the way every president should sound. Unfortunately, we were so used to 8 years of Obama insulting us that we had an inferiority complex. We were insecure. Obama was like an abusive dad, an abusive spouse, someone who insults you and degrades you to the point where you start believing maybe I'm not good enough. That's what Obama did to the psyche of America. And many of us conservatives, well, we punched back. We weren't going to take the abuse. We said, hell no, this is the greatest nation on earth. We're going to fight you every day, tooth and nail. We're going to counter every narrative you have with 5 of our own. But many Americans who still trust their institutions far more than I do, listened to him and they said, well, he's the president and he couldn't have bad interests at heart for us, right? He's just telling us the truth. Well, he wasn't. Obama lied to your face. America was always the greatest nation on the face of the earth. All Trump's done is come up there and tell you the truth. We're great, we're strong, we're powerful, we're rich, we're healthy, and the world needs us that way. The world wants us that way. So another winner last night was the rest of the world, because a strong America means global prosperity. It means global security. It means we'll continue in the coming decades and centuries to free billions upon billions more from oppression, like we've always done since the birth of this nation 200 and some odd years ago. So the big winners, in short, were President, America, Americans, and the world. The losers were the Democrats, the liberals, and the globalists. It was a great, great, great State of the Union, and we really are making America great again. If you like this content, please subscribe to our premium service at www.therebel.media/shows. Don't forget to catch my new hour-long show, Off the Cuff Declassified, right here on The Rebel. You're going to love it. I guarantee it. We go much deeper into these issues. I have great guests on every day. It's a lot of fun. You're going to have to check it out. And if you're already subscribed to our premium service, thank you very, very much. I will be back with you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.